Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to finish the object-oriented programming portion of the series. All right, there's 3 parts to it, and this is the last one. But before I begin, please like and comment to this video, and please subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get started. So we got the extends keyword, and right, as I mentioned before, the extends keyword just means that you're inheriting from a class. And now, what do I mean by inheritance, right? Inheritance means that there's a parent class or some class that you've coded before, and you're having a totally separate class extend from it. And this is exactly like a parent to child relationship. When they're kids, right? The kids technically inherit what their parents made for them, right? A kid lives in the same house as their parent. A kid has access to the same devices and tools as the parent, right? So that's the whole idea with kids, is that they inherit from a parent and they can actually add on more, right? That the parent doesn't necessarily have access to. And, the chain can keep on continuing, right? So that's exactly what this is, right? We have an extends keyword that enforces this relationship. So I deleted the previous, Facebook employee class that I had, right? I have a new one. And I'm going to actually use birds because I used that example when I was introducing OOP in the first place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the parent super generic, all right? Parent should not be specific. They should be generic. So I'm going to say class bird. And, I'm going to have like an init. It can be, self, name, right? That's fine. Self name. And then we'll just say self.name equals name. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a specific, type of bird extend from this class. So I'm going to say class, let's say pigeon. And then I'm going to say bird. Okay. So I want to show you 2 things, and I'll do the same thing. Yeah, actually, I'll just start out with the first thing. So now let's say I have the same thing with a pigeon, right? What I can do here is I can invoke the constructor of the parent class using a keyword called super. Super invokes the constructor of the parent class. So I can do that here. I can say super dot init, and then I can just say name. All right, and that should be good. So what does this do? So if I make a pigeon object, it's going to say, okay, you invoke the super class object with the name parameter, and then it will do that. All right. So that's that. Let's see. I'll also add a method to it. So I'm going to say def chirp, right? Because birds chirp, and I'll just say print chirp 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 from bird, right? Just to identify who is it from. And I'll have the same method here in the pigeon class. All right. And for now, I'll comment it, but I'm going to uncomment it later. Okay. To comment, by the way, you type /. Okay. So now let me make the methods, right? So I'll say p pigeon equals new equals pigeon. Oh, and there's a name technically. Okay. That's a good thing. I think we'll just call it name, like what its name is. Let's see. So I'm going to name this pigeon whatever, Andy. Okay. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke the parent class's chirp method. So let's see what happens. Parent.chirp. Will it, before I hit run, think about what's going to happen. Is there going to be a error saying, hey, I don't know what this method is? Is it actually going to invoke the chirp method, right? So think about that before I hit run, okay? So have that answer in your head. Let me hit run. All right. Chirp takes 0 positional arguments. Oh, yeah. But 1 was given. What's going on? Def chirp. Pigeon. What if this was bird? Okay. So there's just some error I didn't think about. Pigeon.chirp. Chirp takes 0 positional arguments, but 1 was given. Yeah, I didn't give any arguments. So let me think. This is one of those moments I gotta look on Stack Overflow. So let me see this. Oh no, wrong one. Zero positional arguments, and 1 was given. Your worker needs a self as a parameter. Let me see. Oh, okay. All right, now it should work. Okay, there we go. So that was what I was trying to do. All right. So in case what I missed there is you need a self field, and I should have explained this before, but self basically is kind of like this in Java, right? If you know this in Java, it's like a context pointer. Same thing with self in Python, right? So now what's going on is I instantiated a pigeon object and I invoked the chirp method, and it did not timeout, right? Or it did not give an error. It actually used the chirp method that is in the parent class, right? So def chirp, print chirp from bird. Now, right, let's say that I uncommented this, right? What would happen then, right? So let's run and chirp. Oh, same thing. Run it. Now it also does print chirp from bird, right? So, oh, no, it should have been pigeon. All right, now try. Yeah, okay, so that's what I wanted it to be. All right, so when you define your own method in the class, right, of the thing that's being, of the child, it actually invokes the child's version. And this is exactly what polymorphism is, right? So polymorphism is the object just having multiple forms. So, right, in this case, the chirp method is in the kid, the child, so it can just invoke it, right? So there's 2 versions of chirp essentially. All right, so I showed you inheritance and polymorphism. The others, like, the encapsulation and all that, technically that is done via self dot. So I kind of went over it, just by typing code, right? And the other one, it was interface, something like that. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a dedicated playlist for object-oriented. All right, guys, sorry about that. But what I meant to say is that I'm going to have a dedicated playlist to object-oriented programming. So be sure to check that out. As always, I have new videos all the time, so be sure to check them out. I'll see you then. All right, bye.